Greetings, viewers, and welcome back, those of you on Earth, Europa, the Belt, and all the spacemen between. It's Red-Rupee here with you, as always, tonight for Mind the Gap on this DropZone match between Surplus Noodles on the blue and OCRA on the red. Let's see what these folks are bringing to the table. A pair of tanks to start us off, a fairly atypical Vice with Pulverizers, Shredder Field, and Dino Vortex, pulling them in and dropping the AoEs. Then what we would normally see on, I feel, a knockout build, but this time it's Warhead with the Thresher Flail, ECM Locked, and Momentum Shifter, so some really excellent crowd control abilities along with that constant DPS there. Some Gunners, and then a fairly similar build from these two Summoners, both with the Replicating Rifle and Plasma Drone, but one running Inhibitor Field for the Disable, and the other, our Pandora over here, running that Null Field, bringing the silence onto the table going into this. Let's see, Hive Buster and Total Vision and Boss Slayer are objectives right now. I'm not sure which side has the advantage for going for bosses. I feel like it might be about the same for both players, considering they both have the turrets, they both have the tank. It's fairly similar with that tank, summoner, gunner build, as all three rigs for Surplus Noodles start splitting off to do some farming. Same thing happening on the opposing side. OCRA already locking down a quick core with the help of those two early farmers there, Warhead and Fury, taking out that easternmost hive. And all things just kind of quiet, both players staying on their side of the maps. As far as team composition goes, I'm not sure who's got the upper hand here. I mean, it might all be about those rockets and the Dino Vortex AoEs there from Surplus Noodles. But, I don't know. I could see this Warhead combined with that Inhibitor Field. That's a lot of potential disable on the field for OCRA. A lot of the team fights do tend to happen in that uplink central area there, so between the AoEs or the disarms, it could be anyone's game. It's really going to come down to, of course, who can execute in those team fights better. Already we're seeing a little aggression coming down as that Force Core gets uploaded for Surplus Noodles, getting on the board with the first point, as General Vex completely locks down that Vision Tower over there. I'm surprised to not see Fury just running right across and putting some serious pressure on Total Vision. Looks like Vice is going to buy some time. In the meantime, Recon and General Vex facing off, a few shots out between these rigs on this first little scuffle here over the uplink. Pandora looking pretty low, but Vex taking some shots from that gunner, and Recon might be going down. We're seeing that AoE, all three of those abilities going off neck and neck, but you don't want to do it against two gunners. That Shredder Field, of course, reducing your armor to 0, putting Vice in a perilous situation, but Fury might pay for it with her life herself. 3 rigs going down now in that initial battle there. Both the tank and gunner for Surplus Noodles, just the gunner going down for OCRA, but that General Vex looking very low. Unfortunately, this weak level 2 Pandora is quite squishy, so she doesn't really want to mess around too much with these 2 rigs out here. Nice little handoff there from Warhead, allowing Warhead to continue running interference while General Vex does the upload while being already injured, and it's going to probably be enough to force off Pandora. This level 1 Pandora build, I mean, I know both of these summoners have gone past level 1, but just the Replicating Rifle and Plasma Drones is really enough to kind of allow those summoners to tangle with just about any rig one-on-one. They can force a lot of distraction just between the Plasma Drones slow, and then of course putting the turrets out, forcing enemy rigs to auto-attack those turrets to keep the potential DPS down. But going into the, I guess, Tier 2 Hive point of this game, the kind of second wave here of Kavash that these 2 teams of rigs have to start obliterating. It's 3-2, and just a couple minutes off the clock so far. We still got about 12 minutes left in this match. So, of course, without any real push for the objectives there, we saw OCRA going for the Total Vision early on, but it didn't really pay off, and I don't think he really capitalized on it. I think he could have gotten it if he played more aggressively, but he instead chose to react to the uplink instead of hanging out on those towers. Vice going in for that upload, doesn't care about the turrets or the mines. He's a tank, he can take the hits. General Vex trying to keep pressure on, but might be going down here. That slow on the Plasma Drone might be enough to finish her off, but it looks like Pandora is not going to risk overextending for that kill. She would have gone down here as well, and might anyways if Fury has anything to say about it. One more auto attack could be it, taking a lot of slow from that tank though, and without that battle cry available to activate, Fury had no chance to finish off that kill. That was pretty It was a dangerous spot for that summoner to be in, but managed to get on out of there. Fury now running around on the front lines with that combat rush, trying to get extra shots out because she does have that super speed ability. Once she gets that lockdown, let's see, she just narrowly escapes the pulverizer kill with 40 HP remaining. Recon taking lots of extra hits though, goes down to General Vex and Warhead. Meanwhile, Pandora trying, maybe also staying in this team fight a bit too long. 5-3, while both players continue farming on the back line. We can see Vice way in enemy territory after Pandora snags that kill, putting some pressure on Total Vision. I love whenever I can see the opponent just, or either player just constantly pressuring these exterior boss towers. Like, yeah, exactly. What we're seeing right now, like OCRA has to play around this tower now or risk losing the 2 points. So fortunately for him, he does have a southern hive here to start farming up a bit, but I really like putting some pressure on either one or both of those towers because right now, OCRA just doesn't want to leave that tower at all, so no pressure coming down over here for Surplus Noodles. He can kind of farm uninhibited over here, while OCRA has to do everything in his tower to kind of babysit the towers in the meantime. There is a core back here for Warhead to pick up, so it's not looking too bad for OCRA. He's only down by 1 point anyways, so without Boss Slayer getting any pressure from either team right now, there's not a lot of, I guess, need to really stay on top of your vision tower, stay on top of that boss layer, and make sure no one's stealing that. There's an extra kill. Finally, one of the objectives goes down here with Hive Buster going on. Recon getting that 3rd level now. Just about all abilities unlocked now. Oh man, a bit of a misplay there from Vice. Dropping, I think that was probably maybe supposed to be Pandora hitting the E there, but unfortunately he had Vice selected. Warhead heading on back, and a little return Total Vision pressure right now. General Vex putting down mines, putting down turrets, all locked down up north there. If any rig wants to go capture that tower, it's at least going to cost some HP, and without any mechanics or healing abilities on the field, all of that extra damage is going to rack up and always be forcing his opponent back to the dropship to heal up. So without any sustain, I really like just spamming these turrets and plasma drones for the sake of maybe getting some rigs beat up for the course of those next upcoming team fights. 9-5 here in just a moment with a level 3 hive going down for OCRA, but not really contesting the uplink at all. About to fall back to a 5 or 6 point deficit for OCRA as he continues just letting Surplus Noodles upload in the center. I'm not sure if it just feels like he can't contend with the current lineups or not. But let's see, General Vex using the jump pad, getting over on that vision tower while Surplus Noodles recaptures his northernmost tower on his natural side. But Vice in a lot of trouble right now. Warhead putting some pressure on. Doesn't have the Thresher Flail, of course, and just sitting at level 1. Surprised to not see Warhead getting more levels, considering the loadout that he has. Fury's been getting most of the attention from OCRA, which I guess considering is fairly important. A bit of a whiff there on those rockets. I guess he didn't have sight on the vision tower, but both players potentially losing rigs. That last rocket does finish it off, but Recon now in a perilous position himself. I'm not sure why he went up there, but that's a double kill now. Again for OCRA, maybe buying him the time he needs to get back into this game. About to be 7-11, but still several points down. A nice pull off the uplink there. Warhead probably doesn't now have the time to finish that upload, with Vice sitting there threatening to put down some damage. Of course, both the Shredder Field and the Pulverizers were down, but even with that little health, I don't think Warhead would have been able to get an upload completed there. 6-11, didn't manage to get that core set up, so still 5 points behind, and I think with it being 6 minutes left, it's starting to, and no bosses scored, it's starting to look like Boss Slayer might not even get considered for this particular match. Vice putting down some pulverizers, but then not engaging. I'm not sure, a little drop micro there from Surplus Noodles while he was fighting this tier 3 hive. Vice might be in trouble. Let's see if this plasma drone connects. That could be it, but it looks like he might just barely sneak away with under 100 HP, escaping the wrath of that plasma drone. Warhead now moving into position. A level 1 Warhead, though. I don't think he's going to be able to take a tier 3 hive out on his own. Vex putting some pressure over here. That could be Total Vision. Recon's in a lot of trouble, though. Let's see, he does finally just decide to seed it. Didn't want to lose anything on that side. However, Warhead's way back here getting pummeled by those Kavash. Does lose a rig to the creep. That's never what you want to do. That's 40 seconds of being a rig down that Surplus Noodles could certainly capitalize on if he so chooses, especially with all these cores now coming on the map with these level 3 and level 2 hives. Honestly, though, with 5 minutes remaining, I think a rig down is the perfect time to go over there and get that boss.
Vision capture.
He does have, let's see, level 4 Recon, level 3 Pandora. I think a boss would be no problem for him right now, especially with this tough Vice hanging out here. But instead, just choosing to push the advantage, try to take the lead with cores while he can. I don't know. I really always feel like, especially on this map, it's a little easier to go for the boss, maybe on your opponent's side, and then swing around, steal some cores, and probably win a team fight so long as you didn't get too injured. That boss buff makes winning team fights so easy, even with a mistake or two. But as it stands right now, it looks like OCRA is just going to yield the uplink. I'm not sure why Vice is running back, and if he's going to do that, he should have at least dropped that core to allow Pandora and Recon to upload. But that said, Surplus Noodles has been doing a good job of keeping the pressure on, at least on the uplink. He's been winning most of the fights there and secured at least those 3-point lead for the time being. Gonna head up north and start farming that level 2 hive, and Vice is gonna drop an upload real quick, dunk a core, and OCRA is still sitting on lots of cores on the back line, though. Has 2 in his base, 1 on the eastern hive, 1 on the southern hive, while he starts to finish off this level 3 hive in the center. Surplus Noodles just finishing up some farming as well, but potentially losing this 4-point lead if he doesn't get back to this uplink post-haste. I think there's a lot to be said for learning the timing of farming and the timing of your opponent's uploads and that sort of thing. Rocket's going down, connecting on Vex just barely. Not really taking the full brunt of that rocket barrage, but still looking pretty rough at this point. Summoners can barely take a full rocket barrage. I guess even at level 3, they're starting to look pretty rough here. Dropping that core for Warhead to continue the uploading. Vex facing off against Pandora. Both of them dropping plasma drones and hurling turrets at each other, trying to micro around a little bit to prevent the most damage that they can. Warhead activating the Thresher Flail and the ECM locks, trying to get some damage in, but suddenly finding himself a bit outgunned in the face of Vice, taking the full brunt of those pulverizers and Shredder Field there, leaving it about 30% HP. Still trying to duck around and dodge in and out. ECM locks is going to be coming back online, so I thought maybe that or the momentum shifter would have been used to try to take advantage of this team fight right here, but Fury having to duck out now with Surplus Noodles continuing to upload. Vex isn't going to be able to hold against the other summoner and this tank. Vice is just doing such a great job. I love the forward positioning there of Surplus Noodles. Normally you'd expect the Recon to be doing the damage, but instead he just kind of throws Vice in his opponent's face. Couldn't really do much about it, and continued to upload with those quicker, heavier damaging rigs. Vice and Pandora facing off against Fury in these last couple minutes, 14-16. Surplus Noodles, though, sitting with no hives on his side of the map, so he really has to be careful how he chooses these next couple engagements. I think OCRA does have more potential cores to score here. I think maybe even Surplus Noodles, instead of just searching for his own hives, which he should have the vision to see that they aren't spawned, should just hop over and maybe look for cores on the back line. When you know you're even up on team and you know your opponent's behind on cores, if you're both sitting at squad level 10, no one scored a boss, you know they've farmed as much as you, so you should know that there are some cores somewhere on the map that maybe you can poach for yourself. But as of right now, all but one are sitting on their own rigs. Fury looking for trouble. He's going for this kill so hard. Gets the Pandora, but leaves General Vex on the back line to get pummeled by these pulverizers of Vice. Recon still kiting around pretty well. Dino Vortex pulling him back. Vex still outmaneuvering his opponents, and now just OCRA really on top of his positioning in micro. Vex finishing off that opposing gunner, and now it's 1-on-3 with the disadvantage on Vice, despite these two other rigs looking very low. Fury's definitely putting out serious damage right now. Oh man, even could have probably turned around and maybe finished off Vice while that Shredder Field was up. That was kind of brazen to activate considering the disadvantage, the hindrance that offers in the form of that armored debuff. But with a minute left, suddenly we're looking at a tie game. OCR's really managed to close the gap, keep the pressure on, and suddenly, oh man, there's a stray core here. I don't think Surplus Noodles knew that, and a big misplay here, leaving the uplink open. I'm not sure with only 30 seconds left he has the time to kill a level 3 hive, get down here and start uploading. Dropping the core around, making sure he can get that upload. There's no rigs to be seen here. OCRA getting an uncontested upload in the last 30 seconds of this game. We can see Surplus Noodles getting that level 3 hive, but Recon out here by himself trying to get some shots out and finish some damage out. With, oh my gosh, we saw the summoner go down. Is that what happened up north? Now Recon out here by himself, only a tank out here to contest. With 8 seconds remaining, all he can do is go up and try to click that uplink. Recon's coming back, but Vice is not going to be able to deal with this. Oh man, and a perfectly timed momentum shifter to even completely deny that final upload. And a bit of a misplay there in the end by Surplus Noodles, who played such a tight game going into the last couple minutes. Unfortunately, just let that last upload slip by. Didn't even manage to take it to overtime, unfortunately. And that momentum shifter, which I was curious that we didn't see more of, came huge in on the last moments of that. I don't think that Vice would have been able to finish that upload anyways. He didn't have really any defensive abilities. Perhaps if there were ECM locks on this Vice, he could have uploaded, but as it stands, wow, I didn't think Fury did that much work, but 5 kills for Fury. And wow, overall 6 kills to 2 kills. Not counting those couple deaths by Kavash that we saw. I'm surprised it was that close. I guess just it started swinging back towards the end there. We saw 2 big team wipes, I guess, in the second half of that game. One right at about the halfway point, which, these rigs going down here, just, you can see that's what closed the gap completely. There were 3 uploads and then the total vision that went down there. And from then, it was pretty much neck and neck, but just squeezing out that last little bit of pressure from OCRA. Had those cores on the back line, earning that total vision really helped. But yeah, I think oftentimes we kind of saw Surplus Noodles sticking to his side of the map when I feel like he could have maybe pushed onto his opponent's side and stolen some of those cores that were sitting around. Always got to play, I think, a little more aggressively than you think you should on Mind the Gap. Always take the advantage to try to get in there, steal that vision tower, and start trying to steal some cores from your opponent, because then it's their job to come on your side and try to even it out. Anytime you can take advantage like that and sort of force your opponent's hand is the way I like to go. But anyways, that's the game. Hope you folks enjoyed it. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. If you've got a match you want to see cast, feel free to send it my way. Send replays onto that link right there. And this is Red Rupee. I'll catch you guys next time.